Hello, and welcome to Marielle and Katz Plays Highway Blossoms. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that very recently I've been gushing over Milk Morinaga's Girlfriends. It's a Yuri manga, and quite possibly one of the best I've ever read. This one I picked up on a whim, and I enjoyed it so much that now I'm hooked. I'm hooked on the genre and I want more. I came across Highway Blossoms. All I really know about it is that it is a visual novel. It's girl plus girl content. There's a desert and a Winnebago or something like that, a camper or some sort. So I've never played a visual novel before. I don't really know what to expect. Let's dive into this together, shall we? Well, look at us go. We're gonna go make some meth in the desert. The music ends. The cassette clicks to a stop. I've listened to it so many times. I've even memorized the placement of the static from the song's original broadcasts. I'm worried the deck might eventually eat the tape, but it's never happened to him no matter how many times he played the damn thing. So I'm not too scared. He used to drive me crazy. Every day he'd played it over and over again. Sure, he would throw something different after a few loops, but soon enough, he'd switch back and the cycle would repeat itself. Sometimes, I think he'd do it just to mess with me. I'd be in the back, in bed, smothering a pillow over my head just to block out the music, and he would turn it up even louder. Even during all-nighters. That was so like him. Even near the end, when we had to finally settle down, he was still pulling that kind of crap. I'd come home from school sometimes and the police would be at the door because the entire block had called in a noise complaint. He said it was because he had a hard time hearing, but I know he did it just to get a rise out of the old grouches who lived nearby. I think that was his worst fear. Ending up as just another bitter sack of bones. So he did everything in his power to be the exact opposite. Right up until the end. Of course, that meant I would always deal with the fallout. I can't imagine what the neighbors thought, seeing a little girl go door to door, apologizing because some old man decided it'd be funny to put plastic flamingos all over their award-winning lawns. Oh, he was kind of a dick. I can't help but smile just a little, even if it does hurt. I take a sip of my coffee. Outside, a heat haze shimmers over the never-ending oceans of sand. So much desert. Even Roswell was just a rock, sand, and a few shacks. All alien-themed, of course. Didn't see any UFOs, though. I'm not used to how dry everything is. Even the AC on high is enough to rip off my eyebrows, and I'm still all sweaty. Guess that's what happens when you laze around in snowy Colorado for a decade. In that regard, the desert is a nice change of scenery. I don't exactly hate it. New sights are nice, especially since his health didn't allow him to do a lot of traveling when I was a little girl. I could see myself getting used to this. Well, maybe another 15 years when I have everything paid off. Ugh, damn it, Amber. Snap out of it. You can worry about that later. This isn't your trip, so stop being so selfish. I push the eject button. I take the tape out and look it over. Probably for the 20th time today. Years worth of brown stains and greasy fingertips are smudged all over, making it feel grimy to the touch. It still works like a charm, though. There are more cassettes in the glove compartment, a mixture of mine and his. Mostly his. I should just play one of these and get it over with. My hand gravitates towards the latch. It would be okay, right? No. I snatch my hand away from the latch and flip the tape over. Once again, I find myself staring. With a sigh, I stick it back into the deck. I reach towards the play button, take another look to see if the road is still clear. Like always, it... Huh? Ah! I think there's an implied Doppler effect there. Did something whiz by? I slam on the brakes. Their shriek piercing my ears. A glance at my rearview mirror shows a girl cringing next to an ancient-looking car, covering her ears as I screech down the road. Making a U-turn of dubious legality, I pulled up in front of her car, killing the motorhome's engine. I hop out and shield my eyes from the blazing New Mexico sun. Only now do I realize how precious the AC really is. It doesn't take more than several steps before the girl comes bounding up to me with a look of relief. Oh my god, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was starting to think that no one would ever stop. With each word, she gets a little closer until we're finally within touching distance of each other. Her smiling face now filled my entire field of vision. Her bright auburn hair is done into a girlish side tail, glistening beneath specks of sweat. Standing out in the heat has made her round, pale cheeks a sun-kissed red. But she still looks put together, like the desert would sooner melt her than do any real damage to her looks. I almost feel embarrassed to be in front of someone who dressed so cute, her frilly yellow top and skirt putting my red t-shirt and khakis to shame. Girl, you are getting close. You ever heard of personal space? It's all brought together by one thing, though. Her eyes. They're blue. Vividly blue. Deep and rich. Complementing the traces of her misty perfume as she gets closer and closer. Too close, too close, too close! I scramble back and cough, trying to hide my awkwardness. No problem. What's she doing out here alone? Driving through? Hell, is she even alone? I peer off into the plains on the side of the road, half expecting a guy to pop up from his hiding place, now that some idiot's fallen for their trap. That idiot being me, of course. But, much to my surprise, no one does. Instead, the girl continues to stare at me, smiling as she patiently waits for my response. I glance behind her, focusing on her car. That thing over there. So, what's the issue? Your car breakdown? I think so, yeah. I was driving and it just kind of stopped. Yeah. She lowers her head in shame, eyes fixated on her feet, kicking the dust around her. I'm not much of a car buff, but I can certainly take a look at it. Her head pops back up and life returns to her eyes. Oh wow, could you? Yeah, I can't promise I can do anything, but I can at least check it out. That'd be great! Alright, first things first then. This thing looks even older than my motorhome. It was probably a nice car once upon a time, but with a dented grille, multiple scratches, and faded murky green color, it's hard to believe such a cute girl was driving it. Hey man, that is called personality. Dented grille, pfft, that's nothing. Few scratches, life, faded murky green color. Let's see you look half as good at that age. I slide into the fabric seat and start the ignition. I don't know too much about how this stuff works, just enough to keep the motor home from giving out, but I can't imagine it's too significant an issue. Probably just a dead battery or... no gas. They call them... what do they call them? They're dummy instruments? I think so. A single car passes by, cooling us with a refreshing gust of wind, sprinkled with dirt and sand. Is something wrong? Is this a joke? Oh no, did I break it? No. It's just out of gas. No way. Dad said I should have filled it up before I left. I mean, yeah. Fill it before a road trip, use the bathroom, bring water. Hell, in this situation, you're practically bringing camping gear with you. Is she for real? Why is this girl in the middle of nowhere by herself? As if trying to force all the ideas into the center of her brain, the girl grabs her head and whines under her breath. Oh man. I didn't charge my phone either. What am I gonna do? I'd offer mine, but I've never had a cell phone in my life. It seems like you'd have to be pretty absent-minded to forget that, though. She whines once more and turns to me. Hey, this might seem a little weird. Uh-oh. But could you take me somewhere nearby so I can get some gas? And what do you know? She actually did it. How long did you say you've been stuck out here? I don't know. Maybe a few hours? I've been trying to wave down everyone who drops by, but you were the first to stop. Hold on. Everyone? Yep. This heat must have fried her brain. Does she have any idea how dangerous that is? That's probably not a good idea, you know. She cocks her head to the side and gives me a look of genuine curiosity. Like it wasn't obvious or something. Huh? Why? Well, you know, a cute young girl alone in the desert is just asking for trouble. But you're cute, young girl alone in the desert. What? Her comeback takes me off guard, and I turn away a little, avoiding eye contact. These emotions I've been avoiding my entire life. Oh. Yeah, but that's different. A smile returns to her face, the same bright one that she showed me when I first pulled over. I'm still avoiding eye contact, but she leans over to the direction I'm looking and continues to smile. So, you think you can give me a ride? I don't know. Please! It shouldn't take very long. This girl, it's like she didn't even listen to what I said. Still, better me than some psycho. Besides, it's not like a small detour will make me late or anything. Oh, smiling again. I guess it's fine. I'm not in too big a rush anyway. Hooray! It's not what you said, but, you know. Oh. She bounded off. Before I'm even finished, she's springing off the road, bouncing to the motorhome. Hey, wait! It's already too late, as she's somehow made her way into the motorhome before its owner, even finding the time to give a small wave to the passenger seat. I heave a heavy sigh, rubbing my temples as I climb back up into the driver's seat. The key still dangling in the ignition. I wrench it around the motorhome, and the motorhome rears to life, forcing a surprised squeak out of the girl. By the way, that's terrible. She rushed into the motorhome with lightning speed, as you noted. She could have driven off. Then you'd be a cute girl alone in the desert. Bad. By the way, my name's Marina. Marina. Yeah. Thank you so much for helping me out. Yeah, Amber. Don't mention it. Careful not to hit her car, I back the RV up and turn around, sending us in my original direction. Whoa. That was a deal with it moment. I put on my sunglasses and reach for the play button on the cassette player, finally giving in to temptation, but Marina starts up again. Why are we going the other way? Wasn't there a station a little ways back? It was a bit more than a little ways back. I saw a sign a few miles ago that said there was a station not far from here, so we're going there. Oh wow, I didn't even see that. You're really observant. Yeah, or you're just really oblivious. Not really. Silence falls upon the motorhome. The roaring of the engine and the swishing wind from outside bring the only sounds. I take that as my cue and reach for the cassette player once more. Finally get... How do you even drive this thing? It's huge! Marina spreads her arm like an eagle, unfurling its wings, almost bopping me on the head in the process. I clear my throat and grab her arm out of the air, gently placing it on her lap. It's not that bad. You get used to it. She tilts her head to the side and gives me a light grunt out to say, "That's up." And we return to the silence of before. Again, I reach for the cassette play. So what are you doing out here? Are you going camping? Seems like what you're doing is fun. I take a deep breath, and I hold it as long as possible before letting it out. I'm not gonna hold that long. Just traveling. What about you? Why are you out here? Oh, well, it's kinda silly. She scratches her head and lets out an embarrassed laugh before staring at her feet quieting down, and surprisingly enough, stays quiet. Well, looks like that worked. I reach for the cassette player one last time. I stop for a moment to look at the glove compartment and then Marina, who looks lost in thought before finally pressing play. A little pleasant chime greets me as I enter the station, Marina trailing closely behind. All the things are facing directly towards us. Except for that. The drive was quiet after I turned the music on. Turning the tables on her and asking what she was doing out there seemed to throw her off. I didn't mean to come off as cold as I did. It's just been ages since I had a conversation beyond accepting some half-hearted condolences. Though to be fair, I haven't really wanted to hold one. The guy behind the counter is busy ringing up someone, so I set out in search of a gas can. The store is one of those big mini-mart places made specifically for travelers. It's surprisingly clean for a place surrounded by sand. Every corner has an unnatural sanitary shine accompanied by the scent of citrus cleaning product. Hey, they have cola over here. I turn and find Marina clutching a slushy machine, her eyes widening like a cat tempted with yarn. Girl's been out in the desert for several hours. That's gonna leave a lady parched. She's gotta rehydrate, although she could do with water, not cola. Don't most gas stations have it? She shakes her head, but doesn't take her eyes off the machine. All the places back home only had cherry and raspberry. When we got sick of them, we just had to mix them together. Ugh, isn't that the worst? I mean, that sounds like a decent combination, but... Marina finally turns to me, wearing a face of pure, concentrated sadness. Water break. That's good for the larynx. Marina finally turns to me, wearing a face of pure, concentrated sadness. I left my wallet in the car. Oh, girl. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. Just looking at her, I can feel my heart Wait a second. How were you expecting to pay for the gas? I don't know. I just remembered. How did she last 5 minutes out in the desert? Fine. I guess I'll pay for it. Really? Yeah. Grab yourself one of those slushies too. But make it a small one. Her pure concentrated sadness melts into pure, unconcentrated happiness. You're the best, Amber. Oh, Marina. You're kind of a ditz. He grabs a cup, pulls down the button until the slushie overflows and drips down the side. Now it's gonna be all sticky. I was going to pay for the gas anyway, but I'm hoping the drink makes up for the drive over. I spot the gas cans, and with Marina happily sipping away from a straw, grab one and head for the counter. The guy at the register is still ringing up the same girl. Lines of flimsy plastic bags line the counter, filled with a mixture of off-brand junk food and gardening tools. Girl, you are out there. He scans the items, boop, as the girl digs through her wallet, boop, her bandana-wrapped head pressing a phone against her shoulder. Boop. Bandana girl. Aren't you supposed to be the badass mechanic? What good are you if you're not? She swipes a card out and hands it to the cashier, more interested in staring at her nails than looking at him. How the hell would I know? Have the squirt check underneath if you're so curious. Ooh, she sounds brash. On the other end of the line, I can hear the faintest of squabbling. I can't make out anything they're saying, but the tone sound grows more tolerable than the girl. If it's that old, I say do it. Cash is cash. It's not like anyone's gonna care. Uh-oh. You better not take as long as the last time, though. I'll be waiting for you slackers outside. The girl slips her phone back into the crevices of her dangerously unzipped jumpsuit. What little clothing she has on underneath looks like it's going to burst from the slightest movement. Not my type, especially with that personality. It's hard for me to do anything other than stare. I know what you mean. Like, bam! She's out there. The attendant reaches out to help with the bags, but the girl snaps them away before he can. She shoots him a heated glare that burns straight through the man into the wall behind him. Turning around, the girl looks at us for a second before rolling her eyes and marches out the door, the bags weighing her down as they nearly scrape the ground. Yeah, definitely not my type. Good luck! Wait, did that girl have her own theme song? Jeez. Maria and I set the can and nearly empty slushie on the counter. Nearly empty? Ugh. Will that be all? Yeah. Sorry we're more boring than the other girl. Lieutenant hacks out a dry cackle and scans the gas can. He flicks his oily ponytail behind his shoulder, then rings up Marina's drink. Been a lot of folks passing through and stocking up the past few days. It's been a good change of pace. I'm guessing that's why you girls are here too. Marina eases in towards the counter, nudging herself tightly between me and the rack, her hands creeping over to the slushie. For what? I'm just heading out to California. If I don't end up driving myself insane first. You're kind of antisocial, aren't you? You mean you don't know? The attendant freezes, forgetting about the scanner in his hand. Blinding red light. Bleh, let's try that line again. Blinding red light beams from it onto my chest. About what? Why, the treasure. Oh, really? Why didn't you say so? Marina's hands stopped just shy from grabbing the cup. Treasure? The clerk's chubby face morphs into a grin. That one, perhaps? You're telling me you girls hadn't heard of the treasure in the journal? I have! I frown, embarrassed. Marina looks at the floor again, her cheeks flushing red. Oh no, she's worried now. She's got the sweat marks. That marks concern. I guess she's always just this forward. Well, I heard about it on the news. It's kind of why I drove down here. You drove out in the middle of the desert for treasure? Sorry, but you've lost me. Not just any treasure mystery, Missy. The miner's treasure. He says it like it should clarify what he meant. I stare at him. He stares back. Seeing nothing. Marina sips the last dregs of her slushie. Dude, go get a refill. Go get a refill. I wanted some in my mouth. You honestly don't know? Not a clue. You gonna change that? A little feisty, ain't you? I know, I kinda like her. Not really. Just have stuff to do. Fair enough. A little while back, some folks were going through all the trash in their garage. As fate would have it, I came across an old journal. Turns out, the thing belonged to the great-uncle, or maybe it was their great-grandfather. I don't know. Some old dead I cut him off with a cough. Polite hint to either get on with it or quit his yammering. Despite apparently knowing all this, Marina continues with rapt attention. Sometimes her drink makes that annoying slurping sound again. That sound? Yeah. It is annoying. Sorry, I'll try keeping it short. Anyway, after flipping through it, they found out he stuck it rich during the gold rush. If he struck it rich, then why didn't the family know about it? They'd have to be pretty well off, right? Oh, I can answer that. He went back home to Missouri without any gold and told all of his friends he hid it. By now, the slushie is all gone. Marina tries for one last sip, but all that sucked through the straw is air. She peers down the cup and blows out a small sigh. No one believes him, though. I raise an eyebrow. If even this girl knows about it, then I must be more out of the loop than I thought. Well now, looks like Sister here's been doing her research. The tenant leans onto the counter and smirks. Story goes, he wanted to eventually move his family out west and dig his gold back up along the way, but kicked it before he could. He slid his thumb along his neck to make a cheesy sound effect to go with it. Marina giggles, but I just keep staring. The folks that found the journal ended up selling... The folks that found the journal ended up selling it to some hotshot publishing house. Now everyone wants to retrace his steps and find the treasure. Shipments have been selling like hotcakes. Just got ours last week. Points to a rack of identical books sitting by the door. A sign hanging above it read, Treasure of the Desert, A Miner's Journey. Take part in the new gold rush. Yeah, that'll stick in people's heads. And people are really buying into this? Sure are. I've worked here for over 20 years and never have I seen this many people passing through. Even the Banshee before you was here for some supplies and a journal. Sure, okay. This is a hoax if I've ever seen one. And where is this supposed treasure? No one knows. It's all scattered around the desert. They say the journal has hints as to where its whereabouts are. Marina, you said this is why you drove out here? Yep, that's right. But you don't really believe the treasure exists, do you? Sure I do. She pauses to think. At least I want to. But wouldn't it be super cool if there was treasure? Sure, it would be cool. But there's a good chance it isn't. And even if it were, do you know where to start looking? No, not really. I never got that far. I don't even have a copy of the journal. She lowers her head, like she knows there's a good chance that what I'm saying is true. But I have to try. Her eyes got big. Her voice is soft and quiet, but there's a faint glow of determination behind it. It makes me feel ashamed for scolding, but the idea that she dropped everything for treasure is insane. To her credit, she did quote, a little research. But that's canceled out by driving into the desert without a full tank of gas. She wasn't prepared at all. The people who care about her must be worried sick. I barely even know her, and I'm worried. No, don't be too hard on her, Missy. After all, who can resist a good treasure hunt? He looks to Marina and gives a big, gummy grin, courtesy of his missing teeth. But he seems to have most of them. I mean, he's got this half circle missing here. That's a problem. Ain't that right, sister? Marina springs back with a smile of her own. That's right. Rolling my eyes, I reach into my pocket and pass some crumpled bills to the clerk. Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it. He shrugs and stuffs the cash into the register. Though now I'm just paying for the tank and empty cup, I pocket the change. I give a casual wave from the exit. That should be good. That should be a good enough thank you. Marina follows, though a bit more animated, waving her arms like a fan as she says goodbye. Oh, and sister! Huh? You go ahead and take one of them journals. Recharge. Really? Maria lights up like a firecracker and bounces up and down like she's a kid again. Yep. Oh, wow. Thanks, mister. Zoom. With one swift motion, she swipes one of the remaining books off the rack so fast, I swear my eyes are skipping frames. That's a problem. Get that checked out. Hey, Amber, look. He gave me one for free. Where's your book? Just checking out your nails? Yeah, I see it. I tune on her chattering and nod as we walk out to the parking lot so we can finally get the fuel. The attendant shouts one last thing, his voice fading behind the glass of the closing door. Good luck on your trip. Oh. Desert people are weird. No way. Maybe it's further up the road? I can't believe it. It's gone. We could have just passed it. We weren't even away that long. How can it be gone? Oh no. We stare at the empty space that once housed a certain ugly green car. Oh, what just happened? Okay. What? I can go back scenes? Cool. We stare at the empty space that once housed in a certain ugly green car. I look in every conceivable direction, but there's nothing. Nothing but an ocean of sand and a never-ending stretch of road. Was it towed? No, not out here. Not this quick. Where the hell did it go? Yeah, this is kind of weird, isn't it? Maria's hand rests against her cheek as she looks on with mild confusion, like she's trying to solve a small mystery. Your car is missing. That's more than a little weird. Well, it's actually my big brother's car. He just lent it to me when he left for college. Oh, well, that makes everything better then. Really? No! I let out a heavy sigh and pressed my fingers to my temple, attempting to massage away the stress and irritation. It was probably stolen. We need to call the police. You have a phone, right? I do, but... The voice trails off a cliff. What she said earlier echoes in my head. Ugh, that's right. You said it was dead. Also, where are you keeping it? And I'm guessing you left it in your car? Yeah. Well, that's just great. Don't you have one? Nope, never needed one. Afraid no one will call you? Is that a legitimate thing? People don't get phones because they're afraid and someone won't call them? Huh. Not quite. I shield my eyes and look up at the dry sky. Its colors shifted to a glowing orange as sunset begins to settle over the distant valley peaks. It's going to get dark pretty soon. Don't worry, Amber. I would call you. And just leave her. You know, if she did have her phone, it would take forever before anyone could get out here. She'd go from burning up in the heat to freezing out in the cold within a few hours. Plus, if there are people around who would steal cars, there's no telling who else is out here. I can already see how this will go down. She would be huddled up on the side of the road, trying to keep warm. A pack of coyotes would be howling all around her, closing in. Then, from down the road, a starved creep would pull up in a trashy old pickup truck and open his door and... Oh, God. Hey, where are you from, if you don't mind my asking? from Carlsbad. She pauses for a moment, as if to reflect on the silliness of that name. Or at least kind of close to it. It's a little out of the way. Carlsbad? You're from California? You know, figures she's coming the other way. No, silly. Carlsbad, New Mexico. I take it back. Oh, right. You had me going there for a second. How far is that? Maybe 2 hours from here? Wow, you didn't get very far at all, did you? Marina lowers her head in shame. Yeah, 2 hours isn't very far. I never really seem to. Though I'm not really one to talk. I've been on the road less than a day. Would have gotten further if traffic on the I-40 wasn't such a pain in the butt. Or if I didn't pick up Marina. Hey, listen. You don't live too far away. If you want, I can probably give you a lift back home. I prep myself for an explosion of thankful energy and excitement. Hey! But there isn't one. Instead, she continues to stare at the ground. Her hands now balled up in a fist as she fidgets ever so slightly. Is something wrong? She shifts her gaze from the ground and looks straight into my eyes, drawing a deep, long breath. Remember the treasure we were talking about at the store? Yeah? I know it's a lot to ask, and you've already helped me out so much already. But do you think you could take me to the first place the treasure is? Uh-huh. She wants to keep going? Even after this disaster? The treasure. Could you take me to the first... I heard you the first time. It's just... You don't even know if this thing is real, but you've dropped everything to look for it? And now you're asking me, someone you've just met out in the middle of the desert, to take you to it. Even though you don't know if it's real, and just had your car stolen. Did I catch all that? Uh-huh. Shameless. I'm at a loss for words. How do I even respond to that? I try to recollect my thoughts, but only one word comes to mind. Why? Marina shrugs. Nothing more than that. She just shrugs. I take a look at her. A good look. Her wavy hair has been dried out by the hot desert air. Her face is red and drenched in sweat. Probably close to melting her off her makeup. Girls wearing makeup? For fucking serious? Out here? The sun comes out where I live and I'm just like, I'm melting. I'm melting. That's not true. Even her nice clothes are a little ruffled. But despite all that, this cute, peppy girl wants to keep pressing on. Even when most people would have called it quits after the car broke down. Even out here all by herself. For all I know, she would be some weirdo out to mug me, and this is all some elaborate scheme. But she wants my help. My help. It's been a while since anyone's needed that. It's like an honor. Do I deserve that? Probably not. But she's still asking. Why should I say no? I don't have to be in California for another few weeks. And isn't that why I'm taking this trip? To see the sights? For him? She's a little excitable and even more naive, but maybe I need a little bit of that. It's a lot better than just being out here by myself with nothing but the ghosts of my memories to keep me company. Even if it's just a little while. Why the hell not? Hop in. For real? Yeah, for real. But only until the first location. After that... The breath is forced out of me by the sharp impact of Marina tackling my stomach. A warm but damp sensation runs itself tightly around me as dead weight snuggles up against my chest. Ugh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm imagining she's like clasping her hands together. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What are you doing? I'm hugging you, silly. I mean, sorta. My cheeks grow warmer with each passing second. I try to wiggle my way out, but she's latched on, her grip getting tighter and tighter. Marina, please. You're all sweaty. Gross. Sorry, I'm just super happy. She unlatches herself, letting me clear my throat and recollect myself. Amber, let's get inside. I'm burning up out here. Oh, said her name needlessly. We clamber back inside the motorhome, leaving the dry hellishness behind. I turn the ignition and let the AC blast away the RV's stuffiness. Letting out breaths of sweet relief, Marina and I collapse back into our seats. Alright, so, where's the first piece of treasure? Well... You have no idea, do you? That's not true. The news said part of it was somewhere here in New Mexico. Probably. I'm not surprised at all. Should have seen this coming. You have the journal? Yeah? He hands the cheap paper back to me. The cover feels like it would fall apart at the turn of a page. The whole thing is fitting of its rustic design. I slide my thumb across the edges and flip through the pages. Thick forewords and passages commenting on the journal's historical significance skip past my eyes, most long enough to be their own book. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears, preserving in faded cursive lettering. Let's try that sentence again. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears, preserving the faded cursive lettering, the entire thing printed on the next page over. Rusting brown stains and wrinkles engrave the photo. Some of the writing's been scratched out too, like someone's made some mistakes and couldn't erase them. I hate to admit it, but for something that's probably a sham, this thing looks pretty authentic. With bounty and satisfaction in hand, I am now homeward bound, the perilous journey forthcoming. Though my unrivaled intellect and unmatched ambition, I have succeeded in accomplishing what many believe would no longer prove profitable. Of course, this only comes as a surprise to those around me, not myself. I had traveled this way on the trail with many others from the Missouri Territory, but as my typical characteristic success grew, I could sense the envious stares among my so-called peers. The danger eventually became so great that I wished to flee, but my companions left before I awoke. For what reason, you may ask, I do not know. It is with this in mind that I have taken it upon myself to leave a note for one of my fellow prospectors and to borrow his steed so that I may one day return and settle with my family. But if this journey has taught me anything so far, yeah, I'm not reading all this crap. Where should I actually start? Oh my goodness. Damn it. Let's see, if he left California, lived in Missouri, and supposedly hid something in New Mexico like Marina said, then what we're looking for is likely a later entry. Ah, here we are. Okay. Alas, I have reached the final point of division in my travels. During my stay among the ruined sanctuary, the rogue native Lamassie had informed me of the landmark that was rich in the mythos of his people. Considered sacred, he said that the chance of the gold being discovered would be very slim. He referred to it as a winged rock, a monument erected toward the sky. After my previous detour, I have finally arrived. It is with much disbelief, I must say. My friend Lamassie was right. It is not just a monument erected toward the sky, it is a mountain. Almost as if the Lord himself has struck up the earth among the sand. It is guarded by trails of rock around it, all branching from the mother rock. On this journey, I have encountered many different sights, dangers, and yes, even an occasional friend. As I look upon the mountain before me, I am reminded once more that there are things bigger and greater than I. Although I am not yet rid of this cough, my soul has been humbled and removed of fatigue. I can think of no better place to store the last of my gold, and I anxiously await the day I return. Fantastic. What does it say? The gist of it is it's near a big rock with a bunch of little rocks. That should narrow it down, right? Yeah. To the entire state of New Mexico. Marina gasps and lunges towards the journal, the muscles in her neck tense and eyes wide with panic. That can't be the only thing mentioned. There has to be more. I raise the journal high above me so she can't reach it, using my hand as a blockade against her head as she desperately tries to grasp for it. Sheesh, try to relax for a second. I actually have a pretty good idea of where it might be. She settles down, still stiff with anxiety, nibbling on the tip of her thumb. I lower the book back down and read over the entry once more, just to make sure. There's a part where he calls it Winged Rock. Assuming my years of reading travel guides and brochures weren't totally useless, I'm pretty sure there's a loose translation of what the Navajo used to call shiprock. There's a ship out in the desert? Whoa! I peer over the journal. Maria's imagination is going bonkers. Her eyes alight as she tries to wrap her head around such a novelty even existing. How long have you lived in New Mexico? Marina swells up with pride, only to deflate like a balloon before speaking, instead choosing to blow a misplaced strand of hair out of the way. All my life. I sigh and slam the journal shut. It's a small mountain near the border of New Mexico and Utah that's vaguely shaped like a ship. Oh, okay. That makes way more sense. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. The thing is a landmark. Yeah. But hey, at least now I know. Shrugging, I put away the journal and smirk. Misplaced as it might be, her cheeriness is a good mix-up from the norm. Do you think the treasure might be there? Don't know, but it's worth a shot. We don't have anything else to go on. Sure you don't want me to just take you home? Marina hesitates for a moment, turning to the windshield as if to dodge the question with her eyes. No. I think I want to do this. Alright then. Let's go find some treasure.